I just wanted to get on here really quickly and do a video. Haven't posted in a while, I'm sorry for that. A lot's been going on. A lot's been happening behind the scenes and a lot of catching up and filming and things like that. But I want to do a short video on how to make money on your farm and or homestead. It's not going to be 100% foolproof. It depends on your area and what people are willing to do. I'm not going to go over prices just because prices vary based on where you live. Try to find a someone local doing the same thing as you, and try to base your, like if you're doing eggs, base your eggs off of what they're doing. Don't try to go lower because you think that it's going to get them to come to you. It's just going to start something. Do about the same, like don't drop like a whole dollar than they do, but like if they do $5.50 for their eggs, do between I said 150. If they do 150, do between 155 and 145, something like that. Just around the same, but not. You can do the same even if that's what you want, but anywhere in that margin I feel like is fine. But one of the main things is, like I said, selling eggs. Now this can look a whole lot of different ways to a lot of different people. You can sell your eggs for hatching, you can sell your eggs for consumption, or both if you really don't mind and you're meeting people up front, then that's even better. I have a lot of customers who don't like colored eggs or have never even heard of them. So when I say, do you want colored eggs? They're like, what does that mean? And I'm like, it just means that the eggs are naturally colored that color. I'm not dyeing the eggs. I'm not doing anything to change the genetic makeup of the animal or of the bird. It's just how they are. You can also go the route of selling birds. If you are hatching out animals from your farm, or you have goats and you're through kidding time or whatever, sell those things, obviously. I mean, obviously if you're getting started and you want more of that stock, or you want more of a certain breed, or more of anything, keep what you can, but sell any excess. And it's like that with a lot of things. Garden produce, you can sell the extras. If you plant and you're not canning, preserving, things like that, you can, if you grow a bunch of tomatoes but you don't want to can and preserve them, and you're okay waiting until next year for the next tomatoes, that's fine. Just find somebody who will buy them from you and do it like that. Maybe somebody who wants to garden or whose tomato crop failed, something like that. One thing that I'm doing, or you can sell bouquets of flowers and things like that. Sorry, I'm walking around and just looking at different things for inspiration. Zucchini and squash, when those start coming in, those come in really heavily. Beans, when you have extra beans, if you're not canning or preserving, like I said, try to do what you can and meet a little bit of margin. If you're processing your birds, how can you sell the extra birds that you have? Do you have extra birds is the first thing. And then if you do, like if you have way more than you need to get you over to next year, go for it. Sell some birds. Do things like that, and you can do things. One of the other things that I'm doing this year is, which I'm actually going to post it on Facebook today, it's the October 19th. I'm going to put, now this is a decent sized pile, I don't know how many. I'm going to put those on Facebook and say I'm selling these. These are from my corn harvest. They don't look like they do in the store, but they're great for fall decorations. And it's going to be one of the first things that I do for this. This is the first time I'm trying this, but I know a lot of people go and look for these type of things, and they're really expensive. So if I can sell them for a little bit cheaper, and I have this right now, I'm at least starting somewhere for next year. Next year, if I grow 4 times the amount of corn, It's just a number I'm throwing out. Probably only grow 2 times that. But if I grow 4 times the amount of corn, I get enough good stalks. I can sell that, and I already have the numbers from last year. I have the people who would want them again from the previous year, and I'm already growing them. I'm growing them for the food. I'm not using them for the decorations. But if somebody else wants them for the decorations, then yeah, that's wonderful. So I'm going to try that this year. I'm going to see how things go. I'm expecting them to go fairly quickly. Whether they do or not, that I can't really say for certain, but yeah, I'm hoping they do, and if not, then they don't. But I'm looking at that and trying to figure things out. We got extra turkeys this year. I know how to raise turkeys, and a lot of people don't, but turkeys can be really expensive, and when you're buying from a small farmer like me, or when you're buying from the store, they can be expensive. So I do turkey math. I think we said we were doing $1 a pound. I think I upped it to $1.50 a pound, or something like that, which is that's still decently priced, because I know people who sell their turkeys at 40 pounds for $80. Person who butchers them does them for it, or that's what she does them. She said $80, and that's good. They're free-range turkeys. They're getting what they need, and that covers a butcher cost. I mean, for her, she's doing it herself, but that covers anything extra that she might need. Just cutting a corner. Or not cutting a corner, but making ends meet. I'm going to say it like that because it's more of what it is. It's making ends meet. And I know right now I'm not going to be able to sell enough to like make everything meet. Make all ends meet. And you won't be able to do that in the first year or 2 years or maybe even 3 to 5. But you develop a plan with how you're doing things. Like I did the bouquets this year. I did the selling produce, selling eggs, doing things like that. And it works incredibly well. It's just what I have extra of, but I also plant according to have extras. I have the space to know how to do this. So I have one customer, Joanna. She lives in an apartment. She can put in a garden, like if she wanted to. She could put in a few 5-gallon buckets, maybe a small garden bed. She could do that on her balcony. I don't know what the rules are for that, but if she wanted to, I'm sure she could, and it would be okay. And she could grow a lot of this stuff herself. But since I'm already growing it, I'm growing it in excess on purpose, and because I have the space to be able to do it. And sometimes you buy packets or like a bag of seed potatoes. I'm not just going to let half a bag of seed potatoes go to waste. I'm going to use them. So it's looking at things like that and saying, hey, I have more potatoes than I need. Let's sell potatoes. I have so many more tomatoes than I could possibly eat. Let's sell tomatoes. I have more eggs than I know what to do with right now. Let's sell the eggs. Things like that, and just whatever you have excess of, go ahead and sell it. Sometimes it's hard to do, or maybe just the area you're in is a really bad area. Sometimes it happens. I'm fortunate enough right now to be in a place where I'm able to do this more regular, or more, not regularly, people are more willing to do it because they're not doing it themselves. People are willing to do the things like this and support other people. Now, when you get out in the middle of nowhere, people are really doing it all themselves. So you really can't do that, and you don't want to drive but so far, you don't want people driving so far, or whatever. Or maybe you're still selling all those things and you live out in the middle of nowhere, but nobody's making the trip out to you if you live like really far out, which is understandable. It can be a struggle at times. Sometimes I have way more eggs than I know what to do with, and sometimes I don't know how I'm going to find the amount of eggs to get out to people who want eggs. Like right now, I'm going to start washing the eggs, and because I know that they can last up to 6 months in the fridge. I'm going to start washing eggs now. It's only October, in the time that I have, and start going through eggs. I'm going to label them, of course, but I'm going to have them available for when people want them, and they can message me and I can get everything ready. I mean, I already have the eggs, so I'm not waiting days on end to get enough eggs to be able to sell to them. I already have them. And it's stuff like that, because then at times, and I think that's a smart thing to do, because when you have the excess, you save it. Or you preserve it, which is what I'm doing with the eggs. And it works, because it's like, hey, I know right now is the abundant time. In the winter, I'm not going to be getting as many eggs, but I know I'm still going to have the amount of people looking to get eggs. Joanna, the same lady who we take eggs to, we take eggs to her every other week. We do 1 dozen every other week. So I know, so by that math, I can calculate how many dozen eggs I need. Yeah, I could do that. I don't necessarily need to account for her eggs when I'm doing that, but my mom has a friend that she works with who is getting eggs, and he wants 2 dozen eggs practically every week. That is going to be harder to fulfill than a 1 dozen. But I know that I could put up enough right now, starting now, and get me until when everybody starts picking up laying again, and I could get somewhere with it, and I could still have enough. And yeah, maybe it might not last me all the way to then, but I will have a reserve saved, and then I'll still be collecting eggs, so I'm not going to really go without, if that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I'm hoping it makes sense to everybody, but it's something like that, where it's knowing or realizing your excess and saying, hey, how can I prolong this? How can I draw it out a little while longer? And it's really important when you do that. Like, potatoes can survive, or you can store potatoes at room temperature for a long time. So putting those up, putting them in bags, or putting them away, not out of mind, out of sight, but putting them away to where you're like, hey, I know I'm going to need these very soon. I know I'm going to need them quick. And you can use them quick, or you can use them longer, or you can check on them every 2 weeks or whatever, or whenever you're doing inventory, whenever. And you can be like, hey, these I need to use within the next 2 weeks. So I need to plan them into dinner or lunch or breakfast if you're doing breakfast potatoes, whatever. It's using that and just really going forward with it. I'm going to be doing these. I'm going to sell the corn stalks and stuff like that. Sell the produce, eggs, flowers, whatever you can think of. If you have a skill that you think not a lot of people have, which I know how to start plants. So in the spring, I sell started plants. I can do anything you can think of, I can start it. Whether or not it turns out good, I don't know. No, I'm usually pretty good at getting it all started and getting it to the point. I have been incredibly grateful. I have neighbors were redoing their flower area, and they had like 500 little pots and things like that. So I take them to them. I just ask the people that they return them, so I can continue doing what I do. Or I know my great-grandmother gets plants every single year, so it's doing things like that and just really utilizing what I have. Using what skills that I have and neighbors over there, and trying to make money from things like that. So yeah, I know how to start plants, and that's a skill that not a lot of people, a lot of people can grow plants, but not a lot of people can get plants going. Not how they need to be, but not a lot of people have what they consider a green thumb. They just haven't done it enough. You're not tending to the plants how they need, you're not giving it enough heat, light, or water, and that's understandable. I'm in the position that I'm able to do that. I know how to do it, not properly, but I know how to do it enough. Stuff like that, and it's really, really wonderful when you can start looking at this. This is after HOA, so I've been like on a roll with things. Have not filmed a lot of content for me. This was from the Farmyard weekend, and I understand the importance of having that, because that's first priority for me right now, is the From the Farmyard account, and then going back to me later on. So I've been dealing with a lot of that stuff, trying to get caught up with filming. We were trying to get filmed through the entire year, or through the rest of the year as far as we can, figuring out different projects to do. We've announced it already, but doing special guests on the podcast, or more special guests, but doing like a Farmyard Friends segment and having people from, I think, January 1st or the first week in January all the way through the end of March. And that's a wonderful idea, but it takes a lot of planning. And so, yeah, this account has been neglected for a while. And also just trying to get everything back into working order. But yeah. And then these guys. I want to show you guys this. I've really neglected this. So this is more of an update, but also showing, well, I can do this in a separate one, but these guys look really great. So I can buy seeds and I can sell seeds next year. That's another way you can make money. If you know how to save seeds, you can sell them. Things like that. I don't think there are any regulations on that. I'm really not sure. Really not sure on that whole side of things, but I don't believe there are any regulations in the US, at least. I don't know. You can't do seeds, like you can't ship seeds outside of the US. It's just how the rules are. But within the US, I'm pretty sure you can send seeds. However, you can send them through the mail. I've done that with Reagan. We've just sent seeds back and forth. That's what she got me for Christmas last year, and I really enjoyed that. I think I grew, that was one of the sunflowers over here. I never got a picture of it, but it was a beautiful sunflower. I'm going to be doing more next year, and it's just, yeah, things like that. So if you have a skill that you are proud of, even, do it, and just make it wonderful. And I don't really know where else to end this video off than right here, because there's so much. I'm going to be doing an update video. These will not be going up until next week, partly because I don't want to just post and then not get on it. I want to have enough filmed to stay on top of things. Really trying to work on that right now. But yeah, so I'll be doing an update video soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.